Nothing like Impsass.
Yeah.
That can't be the title though.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to Server Restart In. It's a weekly World of Warcraft podcast where three opinionated players get together to discuss their current thoughts and opinions on the current state of the games, since there's so many of them now. My name is Jim, joined by Kristen.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hello.
And it is now been 5 days, and I guess really 4, since the Burning Crusade pre-patch launched. It sucked that it was supposed to come out that day, and it kept getting pushed back because they were having issues.
And they said it was like the longest pre-patch or patch day like outage they can remember. I think it's something someone said.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really keep track of that stuff anymore. That used to be common. Really, like Tuesdays would be. You were lucky if you got on Tuesday.
Yeah. Patch days were always.
Patch days were always rough.
I mean, they gave us compensation back then.
Not for the one day. I think if it extended more to like severe outages, but like patch days would usually be. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much compensation they would have given.
They would give like 1 or 2 days of compensation. It wasn't like a 30-day, compensation. They would give like 1 or 2 days here or there. So your subscription thing would constantly be, like
It would change the time.
A little extra. Yeah, you'd have a little extra, which was funny.
Can you imagine people that were reliant on it being on a certain day, and then these like from coming out of their bank accounts or whatever on a certain date, and then like having the day.
I don't know that changed. Does it? It does.
I mean, wouldn't it be? I thought the subs would go when the time ran out. So if they gave you more time, it would push back when it was pulled out.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
It's been a long time since I've like paid attention to the date of the sub. Yeah,
who the fuck knows?
I don't know.
It's a sub and forget game, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know even when my sub date is.
Yeah. God, it was like within 6 hours, I think, or something like that. Within less than a day, somebody had already got a Blood Elf Paladin to level 60.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, huh?
Yeah.
Like I think it was 14 hours.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's stupid. It's like, what's the point?
Well, I mean,
what's the point?
I get it.
That's pretty hardcore though. You got to be fairly efficient at that though, because even some of the streamers that were doing it nonstop were almost nonstop. Like I've seen them anywhere between like 30 and 40 right now. So, and that would be like 10 times the effort that I would put in. So it would still take like a month for me to level one up to 60.
Well, you got a boost.
Ugh. Boost. Don't get me started on the stupid boost. I'm so mad that you can't. I'm mad that you can't use it on a blood elf. That's frustrating to me.
Honestly, at this point, I really don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't either. Who cares?
I mean, they literally like created a new model for the game for the mount, right? And then
boost are new too. For TBC.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these different things, right? That kind of step away from the like. Let's keep it pure classic.
Right.
Why gate that off too?
Well, and they had didn't they have less of a pre-patch time too? So you had less time to level those.
Well, okay. So, do either of you remember when TBC originally came out? Was there a pre-patch cycle where you had access to everything, or was it just This
There
is
was a
launch day.
pre-patch, but you couldn't. Yeah, you had to wait till launch day to do a Blood Elf.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe during pre-patch you can't boost them. Maybe you'll be able to boost them after. I don't know.
That would be okay, because then I'd feel a little better about getting a stupid boost, because I don't
The
want
only
to.
reason I could see like why that would kind of make sense is just because there is a slight advantage if you have a more balanced out raid, considering that there's classes that don't exist for each side. So
The only thing I'm thinking with my stupid conspiracy brain, Blizzard and corporations are evil, and they want people to buy the boosts up to, max level or whatever, and then they want them to transfer race change. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they have a race change option in the, you got to pay for that. I'm sure you can pay for it, right? So that just makes more money. So if you want to be a Blood Elf, you're going to, you'll pay for that. And
There is not a race change option in the shop.
yeah, you can
that I
only
see.
server transfer in Classic.
Oh, hold on.
You can't even rename in
There's
Classic.
a clone, there's a character transfer, and yeah, there's just character transfers and clones. You can't race change.
interesting.
I mean, yeah. So the only reason for it is maybe they just didn't want they wanted to keep the starting areas populated so that people at least had a chance that were coming in that weren't going to do that, to have some sort of group
That's
of
a
people.
good point. Not to mention that the cost of the boost is still, even at $40,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of money just for that one thing. So
Yeah. And so you're going to have a lot of people that maybe can't afford it, that have to level. So, why let everybody else just opt out of that and leave them in basically what amounts to Silver Moon in retail where there's nobody there?
yeah.
I mean, I would prefer there was nobody there, because you have to fight over mobs again. Do you remember when we made characters and then we had to wait for the stupid, and then a hunter tags the mob and there's
you're in luck because Pagel has almost no horde on it at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's pretty low.
Yeah.
Although
It's like 97% alliance.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
yeah, it does suck. But I mean,
It doesn't.
But like to the point of like the non-classic differences, there was apparently honor was outrageous
Yeah.
when it first started, when they released it on Tuesday, and then they nerfed it. Then they added an honor buff weekly, like in retail. So if you log in, there is a like double. It was like quadruple what it was, and then
no, in TBC, it was like, it almost sounded like it was 10 times the amount of honor per thing that you were getting.
was it?
Yeah, and
there
it was a
tons of
bug.
It was
farming,
a lot.
like,
Yeah.
It was a bug.
Yeah.
You were not intended to get that much honor, so people were able to just spend all day farming honor to buy full sets of the PvP gear
Yeah.
or whatever. And Blizzard, when they found out about it, looked at it and go, yeah, no, that's not correct.
Yeah.
And turned and put it back down to where it should have been. And
well, they added 100% weekly buff.
well, there's
kind
a
of like retail has a cycling buff.
yeah, well,
every week?
they had the battleground buff. That's what it's a specific battleground weekend is what it was in.
Well, the call to arms was like that then, but if you log in to the game, it has. Let me log in and see what
Are
actually
you logging
is.
into TBC or are you logging into retail?
TBC.
I'm pretty sure it was just double honor for a specific battleground.
And that's the call to arms stuff. There is a sign of battle, bonus event battlegrounds. Honor gains and battleground objectives and wins increased by 100%.
Okay, so they doubled it instead of it. I mean, I guess that's a way for people.
I assume that was so they didn't just hit a bunch of people and kept them engaged. I don't know.
Well,
but that wasn't there before, so
yeah, it probably was just some sort of compensation for people that, look, you're not getting 10 times. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to sit there and try and comb through everybody that did get it and try to figure out how to reduce what they have, because most of them have probably bought pieces of gear for it. And how do you account for that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take the gear away from them and refund them a quarter of what they spent on it or whatever? That kind of stuff. So they just said, nope, we're fixing the bug. Things are going to stand where they're at. And maybe this was just some sort of, we understand your frustration. Here's something that's not quite out of whack. And it'll give you some more, but not necessarily, at the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's probably it.
Apparently, too, there was a bug as well where there was cross-server groups being formed and whatnot. Almost like cross-realm stuff. Like grouping that was unintentional. Like being able to be in battlegrounds with people from different servers and whatnot. That was apparently a bug, and some people were assuming that it was part of some looking for dungeon thing or something that they're adding at the end of BC for battlegrounds or something. I don't know, but it definitely was not.
Originally, though, didn't they update it to use battle groups? I'm pretty sure that was in at least BC. I don't know if it was in Classic or not, but battle groups was always a cluster of servers that you were queued with battlegrounds.
Yeah, that might be what it is, but that might be how it is. But this seemed to be something that was more similar to the way things are now, where you have cross-realm, like in retail, where you pretty much you just run the gamut of every server that's in your region, kind of thing. I don't know. And then I was running around in Silvermoon going, because you end up back there to go get training and hit the fucking bank and all that shit because bags are goddamn at a premium and old school shit. And I had a quest that I turned in and I got this toy. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And it was an imp in a ball. And basically like a magic 8-ball, but an imp. And I was like, oh, okay. I got a toy. That's great. I don't ever remember seeing this thing. Whatever. And, I threw it in my bank or whatever. I just found out that apparently it was a reward or originally it was a trading card game item.
Oh.
And so, but apparently if you have the 6-month subscription, you get it in BC Classic. Kind of like how in...
Oh, yeah, I read that the other day, actually. I was trying to remember where I saw that at, but yeah. Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. So they're adding things in there. And I guess that's, some people are probably going to bitch about, the fact that it reduces the value of it, blah, blah, blah. But it's in Burning Crusade Classic. It's not in retail. So the one in retail still, I would say, retains its value somewhat. As opposed to which one was it, Bananas?
Oh, yeah.
Where people were mad because it has the same form as the trading card game one or whatever that monkey debacle was.
Yeah. The monkey debacle.
So I'm confused. Was the imp in the ball something that actually existed before?
Yes, as a trading card game item. How you used to get things from the TCG?
I remember seeing stuff about it, yes. Like the mountain stuff. Yeah,
there were the mounts. There was that, was it a Spectral Tiger mount was one? It was a big one. The Rocket Chicken, I think, was one. And all that stuff in retail, right? So by this one was from...
Oh, apparently you could still get Imp in the Ball through the black market auction house.
You
too.
can get a lot of this stuff through the black market auction house, I think, as long as you
Yeah.
have the gold. I think a lot of things that are no longer like the Brutosaur mount, the Long Boy auction house mount, you'll still be able to get from there as well. You just can't get it through normal channels. But yeah, no, the Imp in a Ball is in the game in retail. If you have the card, you can get it. But as they gave it to you in TBC Classic, just with the 6-month sub. I don't know. I mean, it takes up a goddamn bag slot, and it doesn't leave those types of servers anyway. So, I mean, I don't see people going to be super upset about it, but I could be wrong.
Somebody posted on Wowhead back in 2007 that the rarity was 1 in 484 booster packs. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a good chance that there's hardly anybody has them anyways. So,
well, I mean, even if the
not that it
people
really
have
matters,
them, they
because
have
if
them
you already have it, yeah,
if you have it, you have it in retail, and that's really where the rarity matters, so to speak.
but you can still go, like, if you have it on your account, you can go and claim it anyways from the Booty Bay person.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like all that, yeah, all that's still activated. Like if you originally had all that stuff, you go back and just get it from that person. If you have, that's what they said. Something about, if you already have a license on your account for these items, you just go claim them in the classics.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, so wait. Oh,
You
I
can
see.
get
So,
them in Classic as well.
oh, I guess because if they existed, because they existed
They would have
back
existed
then.
back then, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
yeah. So if you had like the Spectral Tiger mount throughout retail or whatever, and you wanted it on your classic character,
Why would you not?
well, yeah, okay. When you want it on your classic character, there is a
Right.
way for that to go. So that's good. That's good that they allowed that. That they had some way to make that work, you know,
Yeah.
and that it wasn't just kind of like a one-time thing where things just.
Well, still, that's kind of cool that they are willing to at least release some of them so everybody else can enjoy some of it. The mounts, I totally get. I would never ever do that because I'm sure there's still mount cards out there that haven't been redeemed. But,
and the cost of those
but
just
yes,
are going to be skyrocketing
Oh, yeah.
as
yeah.
they drop. Or as the
But no,
number-
that's cool. I didn't know that. So what's the ball? What does it actually do? Is it just a?
It's like you shake it and ask it a question, and then
Oh,
you just
like a
get it's a
magic
magic
8
8 ball. And and it's funny because if you look at it, it's like this scrunched up imp in a ball with his ears sticking out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think he said something of like, you know, it's like, well, blah 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 blah. The answer in here is this, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same out there.
It's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know if he
That's
just
awesome,
said it
though.
or if he like actually says it, like if they're voiced lines. And one of his responses is, "Please, is kill Jaden red?"
Oh, my.
Nothing like imp sass.
Yeah.
Imp sass. Do not misunderstand what I said.
I heard what you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can't be the title though.
Imp sass.
No,
Imp sass.
the other one. Imsass.
We could do like the Nightman thing. You got to pay the troll toll.
Oh, no.
You want to get this boy's hole?
Voice soul.
That's still probably one of the best fucking episodes
Yeah.
of that goddamn show.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Oh, the only other thing I saw that was kind of kooky was so they have the mount that they released in the deluxe edition. It's the same mount, but there's a higher res version for Shadowlands and a TBC era resolution for TBC. And the one in TBC So we looked at it earlier, but the one in Shadowlands is awesome. It does this little animation when you summon it. It's really cool. The one in TBC, it's like the way it walks, it slightly slides forward a little bit and doesn't match up. It looks completely out of fucking place.
Just in general, or just like in TBC itself?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In TBC, it just looks like it's out of place. It's still
the
cool
animation?
because yeah, it's like the movement speed is the animation's not matched up to the movement speed. Now, I did hear somebody on Twitch say it kind of looks like it's pulling itself forward, and maybe that's a little bit of the case. You could kind of write that off that way, but yeah, I can't get over it. I had to switch off of it a few times because it bothered me so much. But
Didn't those when they're mobs themselves they blink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They phase.
I wish they would have done
they
that.
phased out.
Well,
That would have been
that's
cool.
Yeah, it'd be neat if they had. God, it'd be neat if like they had mounts like that had like special abilities
Yeah.
that you could use when you were riding them. Like this could blink, and just like something like nothing like super major.
Sure, just like 5 yards in front.
Yeah, even
If you just phase in and out while you're walking around.
even if your character doesn't move, it just goes poof. It does like a bamf, like a Nightcrawler thing.
Or goes
like and back, just like phases in and out, or what other one? Oh God, what other ones could we have that have some?
That
cool...
would be so cool, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm sure they haven't done that because PvP implications. Because
if it doesn't move it and it's just a graphical thing, like I don't know,
yeah, but if it breaks your targeting of somebody,
you don't make it break the targeting. It's just a visual effect. Maybe you only make it client side.
Yeah.
You have to make it server side so everybody can see it. How cool it is.
I'm sure it could be something there. I mean, it could be like a split second or something to where it's not such a big deal.
Right.
As long as you don't allow the character to not exist, so that it drops targeting and all that stuff. Because you're right. That could give some people an advantage in PvP.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, but I think if they would make mounts more interactive like that, where they could have sure they have the mount special, which did you look at the mount special on the one in Shadowlands? Did it have one?
Oh no, is that where you press spacebar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let me
when you're not moving, because maybe he does do it like a blink thing with you or something.
That would be cool.
Hopefully it's not.
I'm hoping that the mount animation is something that they're going to start doing because that was kind of cool, actually.
Well, I want to say, was it the rogue class mount did something like that too, where like you jump up and like it does like a loop and you land on it.
When you
summon the crow.
Oh, when you summon it. No, I'm thinking when you're doing mount special.
No, because the animation on this one is the summoning animation where it phases in and it comes sliding in and you jump on it for the phase shifter. But the rogue one is like you jump up and it comes up underneath you or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's similar to that. And it'd be nice if they would add that for a lot of them. Like maybe like the Wandering Ancient could like, or like any like the undead mounts could like claw their way out of the ground kind of thing. Like they're being like when you summon like the Iron Brood Vanquisher from ICC or whatever, like if it just like crawled out of the ground, like you were summoning,
kind of cool.
Right.
And then you
clearly it's more work for them to do.
Sure. but if you put little cool things like in there, people can be like, oh, that's awesome. And like get people hyped about it, and just like if they're going to spend that much time on this, then it'll give them less time to put in shitty systems that you don't like, right? Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
What other one? You could have like
So here, the mount special for this guy is that when you press it, a fly appears and it watches the fly and then jumps up and eats it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Hawkstrider mounts, you could have them come run, and since they're like big dumb birds, you could have them come in and like fall on its face underneath you and pick you up.
That's funny.
That would be awesome. That sounds hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, you make them like big dumb birds, and they come in and go up, and then like their neck goes under your legs and lifts you up on their back, kind of thing.
Look at you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got all
Well
kinds
thought
of
out.
ideas.
All kinds of ideas.
'Cause
I'm pissed. The animation on the Shadowlands version is almost perfect for this guy.
Yeah.
well,
His legs track well.
it could
Go
just
in the
be.
classic.
I mean, they could have just taken the TBC creature that existed and updated the skin on it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of it. Maybe they didn't tweak the animations or whatever, you know.
Yeah, there could be something weird going on there.
And like maybe to keep it more authentic with TBC, you know. So what you should do is go somewhere where those creatures exist. Which are they only in Outlands?
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're in Shadowland. Ghostlands or
Yeah, I don't-
Silver Moonland.
yeah, I don't recall seeing them over there.
Yeah, I don't think they're there.
No, I would go to Outlands when it comes out and find some of them and see how they move and see if that's just how they move.
It slides. It barely slides each direction. Even walking backwards, it slightly slides outside the animation.
you know
and
what it is?
Oh my god.
I bet the animation is static and the speed at which you move is slightly faster than they move in the wild.
Yeah, probably so.
And so that's what throws it out of phase. So it's almost like when you hold a dog over the water and it starts paddling like it's swimming, but it's not. It's like that.
Here, let me share this. I just had to. You got to see this real quick. I'm sorry, podcast.
Okay, make it
Let
move.
me know when you can see it.
Make it move.
That's not that bad.
No,
It
it
is.
doesn't look that bad. No,
I'm
I
not
don't
seeing
see
what
it. Yeah.
backwards. I don't really see it.
Really? It's
Yeah.
almost like he's moonwalking a little bit.
I mean, I can see it when you're going forward. It's almost like he's skating on the ground.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I don't think it's that bad. I thought it was just going to be something really bad.
Yeah.
No, and not atrocious. I mean, I'm sure they would have picked that up really quick, but no. You know, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if this was actually a mount originally that they just never released.
It could be.
Yeah.
That would be
You
interesting.
know what I mean?
So here's my question. When you boosted, right, what did you get when you boosted? As far as
like a
money,
you get
and do you get money?
yeah. So you get 25 gold, and then there's like a little starter quest. There's like 3 starter quests right as you start that make you train a talent, or train a spell, pick a talent, and do something else. And it kind of, I think it gives you your gold and stuff. And then one of the quests gives you your starter pack that has your weapon offhand and your range weapon. But otherwise, yeah, you just start with kind of really a basic set of gear that doesn't actually exist.
How much was
Like it's not.
how much was the mount? Not the mount. The mount training.
You already have the
Basic.
the basic training. Yeah, you
Oh.
don't have the.
Epic. Okay.
Yeah, I think you got to be 60 to get the epic one, right?
Yeah.
And this
Okay.
one, yeah, so-
Yeah, because you're 40 to get regular. Oh,
Well,
okay.
TBC they switched it to 30, I believe.
Yeah.
It went from 40 to 30. So,
They did?
but yeah, you get it automatically. Yeah.
Okay.
But the mount though is as soon as you upgrade to whatever expert or whatever the master, I don't know. I
Right,
can't
yeah, the
remember what they're
mount
called.
is based on your ability, the speed of the
Yeah.
mount.
Versus all the old
Yeah.
mounts used to be like
You had to
one
buy
or
the
You
other.
had to buy the
Epic mounts,
the
yeah.
epic mount. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, but
We talked about not knowing that, and then I think we were going to talk about it again, and because I had read that it would scale, and I don't think we ever retouched back on that. But yes,
That one would scale. That
right,
one
that one will
Yeah.
be based on your writing level. Oh, is that the Hearthstone? That's cool.
that awesome?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a dark portal.
Yeah.
And then what about the toy? You got the toy for the Illidan. Like you walk.
Path of Illidan.
Yeah, and he just leaves. It's almost just like the Warlock Burning Rush.
Yeah.
And it leaves footprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you got with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty cool though.
But I mean, that's
I don't know if it shares. Oh, it is. It's a replacement for your Hearthstone. Okay. I didn't realize that when I had it.
Oh.
The Dark Portal, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I figured, in my case, I figured boosting a mage would work out well for everybody.
Right.
If we wanted to at least power level the lower levels.
Oh,
once he gets good enough gear.
Let me tell you, Jim made characters, and we needed water and food so bad.
Oh, yeah.
It was so terrible. I'm like, every 3 mobs or something like that, I'm like, I need a drink.
Yeah, and even this guy is like, he has a good balance of gear for his level. But I pretty much have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back to the Western Plaguelands and level there, or at least complete those quests because they're lower level 50. Because the stuff in the Eastern Plaguelands are just too damn hard.
It's just really dumb that they won't let you. I want to boost a Blood Elf. I want to boost my Blood Elf Warlock. That's what I would like to do.
My God, that server is so dead.
It's so dumb. Is that our server?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he's an Ogremore on the bank, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you do a /who and you take it out, I don't know how much. Usually it'll pop up up to 100, I think. But
50 is the max return on the /who.
Okay. Well, yeah. There you go. That's not too bad, though. I mean, I think it'd be enough people, if people are actually interested in playing, that you could at least have some dungeon groups and stuff. So
well, I started a Blood Elf Hunter, and I am 17 or 18 now. And
are you? Wow.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. The Hunter gameplay I like because it's definitely good for solo play.
Hunters were really fun in TBC, especially with volley and all kinds of stuff. It was really cool.
I finally got the pet and all that stuff, and then I'm like, why the fuck doesn't he have Growl? I'm like, I gotta go fucking train him in Growl. Not only do I have to go train him so that he learns it, then I have to train the pet onto those skills. I have to give him Growl, and I have to give him greater stamina in the armor stuff.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
They don't just have these things, so I have to go in buy them from the trainer,
fed, or they'll run away.
Yeah,
about that.
I know. Trust me, I'm keeping this fucker fed. Half the time he's unhappy. But
why you need Warlock pets? You don't have to keep them happy. You just keep resummoning them.
I got the Immolation Trap, which is pointless because I send my pet out, and again, you drop the pets on you, or the traps on you, so you would have to pull them to you and then stick your pet on them or something like that, or pick the in-between point where they're going to hit. If you hit them first, your pet's going to meet them there and then pick them up.
Well, you kite them, usually.
I know, but there's no point in kiting with having your pet tanking, though.
I think the big issue there is that because of how much aggro you put out, eventually you do take the aggro off of your pet. So if you have your trap in place, it just does extra.
No,
damage.
yeah, I know. And I'm not getting to the point because he's casting Growl
Do you have
all the time.
distracting shot?
I do have distracting shot, but I don't use it because why do I want threat on me?
Is a good solution for the dead zone that exists for hunters back then.
Yeah, once things get in, you have to switch to melee and all that stuff. Yeah. But I've been doing pretty good. I still haven't taken Knuckle Rot and Lurks on yet, or whatever their names are.
Yeah.
The two big abominations that roam there. They're level 21. I haven't done that quest yet because I'm fine just going out and doing stuff. But trying to I'm sitting here doing the first quest in the first area where you have to find all the shit for the party. The dude's party, and you have to go to like the 3 different areas and buy like wine and fireworks and meat and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, where the fuck is this retreat? I haven't unlocked it on my map. I'm trying to remember where the fuck it is. I'm like going to all these places. I'm like, they're not going to send me somewhere I haven't unlocked yet, naturally, but they did. It was the same place I had to go to start the quest or the pet quest stuff. But, you know, I'm like sitting there. I'm like, do I want to look this up? Do I really want to look? Like, no, I'm going to find it, you know? And it's just like half of these things I remember, or most of these things I remember doing, you know? And it's just like, because when there's a place over there where you have to kill the trees, because like it's a burned area or whatever, and you kill the trees. And I'm like, I know there's another quest out here for that big guy walking around. I wonder if I have to kill him to get the quest item, and I did. You kill him and you get the locket that was given to him by the elf, which then you have to go bury it, and then he comes back and you have to fight his ghost kind of thing. I'm like, I remember this. I'm like, okay, so let me kill him and see if he drops it. And he did, you know, and it's just like all these things I just remember doing so many years ago. And it's just like, it feels.
I played the Blood Elves a shit ton. I remember going through that over and over and over, only because like you got better rewards at a more sustainable pace than any other leveling starter zone. So
right, well, because it was a new starting zone that they had taken all the lessons from Classic to develop.
Yeah.
So like again, I'm only in the second zone. This is like being
plus your the rep thing for the what's it called? What is that place called?
Tranquillin?
You gotta Tranquillin. And the fact that you have a rep grind you can do there too, that was one of the I thought that was the coolest thing whenever that came out. Like they have a quartermaster and you could do the rep grind and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean you do it anyways.
Yeah.
But it's just so like they were able to better design these things, and like so in comparison, like I was probably 11 or 12 when I finally went to Tranquillin in the Ghostlands. You know, it wasn't, you know, mainly because I was doing everything in the other area first. And so I was already in there, and like I have done maybe half of it, and I'm already like almost 20. And it's just like, I think about doing my Undead Rogue in Silverpine. He's like 12 or 14. And it's just like, it's not even comparable. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't have the same kind of gear that I do in the Blood Elf area. Yeah. It's just like, it's just a better area. They had more idea of how to make it better, and they did.
Yeah.
And I think it's very apparent. And, you know, and it's just like, because I'm burning through shit, and it's just like, sometimes I'm like sitting there trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going.
I might use the boost on my druid, maybe.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking about that,
Druid's that's the crazy part too. Druid's a great choice. I almost wanted to do a druid because they're great tanks and great healers.
Yeah, I miss my perks from retail on my druid, and it's super hard to, you know, I want to, you know, I want to have my glowy kitty. I want to have my werebear. I don't
remember a lot of feral or boomkin.
Mm-mm.
So
yeah,
you might research that before.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, I do remember like I from Classic definitely. Druids were heals back then.
Yeah.
But going into Classic, they weren't just. There were people who were playing as boomkins. There were people who were playing as, you know, all the different specs and doing it successfully. So,
yeah,
just because I don't remember it from back then doesn't mean that now, because we're better players.
That's true. Even like Rhett and stuff, and even DPS warriors, like there was a lot more in this.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Classic than there ever was in the past.
I'm so glad you guys are bringing it up, because I was just getting ready to talk about this because I'm talking about how I'm just like blowing through things on my hunter. It's like when I initially created this, it's the same character I made in retail, same Blood Elf Hunter, same name, everything. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't remember it being this easy because I know now how to better play a hunter.
Yeah.
I know better how to play the game in general. I know, okay, how to pick mobs out, how to, just how to manage myself better than I did before, like with my buffs, my armor, what kind of stats I should be going for, all that kind of stuff. It's easier going back and doing it again. And it, like you guys are talking about, it opens the door for other specs on some of these classes because, traditionally, like you were saying, warriors were tanks. You didn't have DPS warriors, or druids were tanks or healers. You didn't have Feral or Boomkin as much. But because people know so much now and understand better how to identify how to make them viable, that it just actually allows it to be a thing now. And that's good. It opens the door for a new experience in these old games. And it's just like, because it's not the same as it was when
I think that's, for me, I think that's the attractive part about it. And I think that's why TBC seems more, it seems like it's going to be more interesting to me because it's going to be different than what it was before. And actually, I'm welcome that. I really don't want to go back and try to relive, what it was then. And I think that was a lot of my fears too. Whenever I'm trying to select a character, I'm like, oh, I'd love to be a paladin, but at the end of the day, I know like you're going to wind up healing.
Mm-hmm.
But reality is, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And, I raided in TBC. I don't have to raid again if I don't want to. And even better, towards the end, like the very last phase of TBC is when, they get rid of attunements. You can walk straight into like Karzan and stuff like that. And it's much, much easier. Because people are farming badges when they start releasing badges at that point. So outside of just heroic dungeons, that is. But yeah, I think that's the one thing that kind of makes me hyped up about it, is that it is going to be probably a lot different. Now, granted, if we're on a server where there's not a lot of people, our opportunities are a little bit limited. But overall, I think even on different servers and stuff, it's probably going to be a lot different. It's good.
Yeah, it's we're not the same as we were back when these games came out. We're not the same type of gamers that we were. We're a lot more, I guess, in tune with how to play these kind of games. Because, I mean, if you think back when these games were out, MMOs were still fairly new. Not everybody played these. It's like, sure, you had like Ultima Online was around, I think, before that, and EverQuest around the same time. You know what I mean? And it's just like those kind of games were a little bit different. WoW was, like Guild Wars was out around then, and that was a completely different type of MMO. It was still fun and all that stuff, and I'm sure it still had its own intricacies, but like this just, if they were to create like brand new servers for like Guild Wars, like the first one, and you go back and start over, people are going to just be able to blow through this shit because they know how it works. And it's the same thing with this, and it just makes it easier, but still fun, because these quests, while the actual content in there might not be as difficult, like killing the things or like how you do combat and whatnot might not be as hard as it was because you know better how to do it. Still trying to find the fucking objectives by reading the quest text and all that stuff is still a pain in the ass.
I think I'm just going to be a resto druid just so I can have Tree of Life. You guys will just have to kill things for me.
Just so you can dance.
Yep.
Do the.
While you're on fire.
Yep.
I'm not putting down a campfire though. It costs flint and tinder.
I'll supply myself with campfires.
That's the other fucking thing. Is the reagents. Spells have fucking reagents.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like
my God,
you have
so
to
bad.
hunters. Like I am so fucking hard up for bag space, right? Because I have a fucking quiver that I have to keep ammo in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's just like that takes up a bag slot,
Yep.
and that's a pain in the ass. Oh, and like so, one of the people we play with was on, and they were like, "I don't understand. Like, where did my fucking throwing daggers go?" It's like, why don't I have them anymore? Why are they in my bag? I can't fucking use them. It's because when they changed it, anything that you had that was like that, they broke it. So now it's just like, they're not like heavy throwing knives, or if they're broken heavy throwing knives, and you had to go buy new ones. Like, I don't know if they changed how they worked or whatever. Like, you know, they used to do that with, like, I guess the biggest one was when they changed the talent systems or whatever, and like, if you had spell books, like they were like became junk items, like after a certain like not patch or whatever, you know, like a pre-patch or an
Oh.
expansion.
Yeah.
So like these old items, either like the actual item itself in the database just was no longer viable, so that they just basically flagged it. But they didn't even make it junk. You can't even sell them back to get something
I
back.
forgot. Did they add that back into Classic where you had to like get certain items to upgrade spells to another point?
There were spell books. I know imps. Like I think you had imp spell books, right? Like spell books
I
that you
think
could
there was
get.
a bunch of stuff like that though, wasn't there? Where you could upgrade that skill again if you had the item for it.
I don't know about like character spells. I know that like pet spells had stuff like that. As
Yeah, I remember a little bit
specifically,
of that.
specifically demon training. I think, or you would buy the book to learn it, or something. I don't know if they were actually things that you had to farm, but I mean, that would be interesting. I'd be kind of okay with something like that. You know, it's like you want to get, and even if it was just,
Oh, like Arcane Brilliance was apparently one that drops. So you could only do a mass Arcane Intellect with Arcane Brilliance.
but you had to
And you had to find that tomb to train the rank 1.
Interesting.
Yeah, it dropped off mobs and raids
Yeah.
and some bosses. That's so funny. There's just so much stuff it's hard to remember. Like,
Yeah, but once
how-
you,
they eventually got rid of that stuff. I'm pretty sure in TBC, like oh wait, I think my guy has it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This is funny.
So you should buy the boost, and then we should go to Outlands.
you can't go to Outlands until June 1st.
Well, I mean, then we should level like from 58 to 60.
Why? I don't want to. I'm having. I don't understand why. I don't have anything I want to. I don't even know what I would use it on. I don't know what I would play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly not a Death Knight, obviously.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely not a Death Knight. One day soon, maybe just like in 2 years or something like that, we'll have
Yeah.
Lich King Classic, and then
Do
I'll
a
be,
Tauren Shaman.
There you go.
Shaman.
be a Tauren with
enhancement
me.
Shaman are fun.
I have a Troll Shaman that I started. I could just boost him.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. You can boost your current characters, or you can do a
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
So
I have my druid on the server.
I
so-
almost boosted my warrior, but I wanted something that I could kind of. I really haven't done a mage back then, so
Yeah. well,
being different, not doing the same thing again. That's my goal.
I think I would want to level a mage just to get used to playing it, because that's the one reason I don't normally boost characters. Like, and that's why when I was working on all like the classes to get them all up to like have like a max level character or something like that, that I was playing them from scratch to just
you
learn
gotta
along
think
the way.
too, like leveling from 58 to 60 right now is probably the same as leveling from 1 to 50 in retail.
Sure,
Oh,
but
So you get plenty of time to learn it.
that's funny how it says on the boost, if you're new to World of Warcraft, we highly recommend starting with a level 1 character instead of using a boost. Like, okay, well, that's nice, but I'm not new.
well, then it said if you're new and you're not, so don't be like mad at them for putting a little disclaimer in there.
So it says Dark Portal Pass, Step 1, create new character. I don't want to create a new character.
I don't know. Why are you doing that right now?
I don't know, because I figured that it was a
You
good
didn't
time
have
to do
to.
it.
You just click on the icon and then you click on your character you already have, and it'll send you through it.
It's not doing that, though. It's not letting me do that.
Well, it looks like we are done for the day because we have stuff to go mess with. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We talked a lot about some of the stuff around TBC, about the pre-patch release, about some hiccups with some bugs, including massive honor gains that should not have been a thing, some cross-grouping thing that I don't really understand and don't care about because it never impacted me, and just kind of talked about how they should do more mount summoning animations that would be way cooler than just magically poofing. Yeah, and I guess we're gonna go play some TBC Classic. So we'll catch you guys later. You can check us out facebook.com/server restart in, or use a tweet at server_restart, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.